This is Dolls from Hell by MAYASURAN on OC Remix. Oh boy, here we go streaming again. This song just, for whatever reason, just got in my head thinking about what we're going to get up to. It's because of there's a bit in here that sounds like machines. I think it's kind of, yeah, it's this part. Just sounds like, you know, what might be playing in a factory. It's one of my favorite songs too. Great mix by MAYASURAN. Okay, so I was struggling to figure out exactly what I wanted to do today. Was torn between continuing or starting up something new. Hey Hogan, how you doing? And yeah, I settled on just continuing the playthrough we have, because while I titled playthrough Mining and Crafting, we have done very little mining and next to no crafting the entire first part. But that is because we still need to find a domain mothership in order to access forge production, which can be a hassle. I'm hoping someday that someone like takes the scan, the person who does scan those gates has a button for scanning or for revealing the hyper shunts and revealing the cryo sleepers. I hope eventually they'll have a button that will reveal the motherships and just make stuff like this a lot faster to do, because it can be a bit of a slog. Although we will absolutely be finding a mothership this time, because we've already found where the probes are more densely packed. We just stretched ourselves out a little bit further and beyond that to reach Lethia so that we could build an outpost there. What I'm doing with this challenge is an extension of what I do with exploration, where I do exploration and I don't return to the core worlds. Well, we've built an outpost in Lethia, and we have the Lethia market to visit. We also have the independent bases that are brought in with the Reuters faction. The independent bases are kind of like pirate bases and pather bases. They're just out there to find. We also have the pirates and the pathers. We've been visiting them. But with Lethia, we have a gate in that system that we can return to. Lethia is added with Talon Shipworks. So we've got a base of operations. We're actually far more organized than my normal exploration playthroughs. But we're still need to find that domain mothership. And we actually need to then acquire some specific ships. I've already picked up a Prometheus from the Independents at I think it's Kazdalur is their world. And then we have an Atlas that's out there that we can recover as well. That will produce quite a few resources, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be enough, though. The way Forge production works is we'll be crafting ore into metal plates and transplutonic metals, and we'll also be refining volatile gas into fuel. But the ratio at which we do it is a bit awkward. We already have a synchrotron core, which will increase fuel production. We also have a corrupt nanoforge, which will increase machine and supply production, because you turn those resources into machines and supplies as well. The challenge is going to be to make sure to get the ratios correct so that we can get enough product being made to support the whole fleet. And essentially, all we need to do is stop by somewhere and pick up some rocks here and there, or some gas, and that will keep us supplied. That will create a flotilla, a giant fleet that can self-sustain. Then I don't know what we're going to do with it. After that, who knows? We'll find out. By then, though, we'll get to a point where I'm going to be trying to, we accidentally introduced the Lego pirates, and they are extra spicy, and we may have to go to the core worlds to help fight against them. We'll see how that works out. But let's go ahead and jump into game. Oh, I also downloaded Space Crew Legendary Edition, which is free on Steam right now. I think on Wednesday I'll do a short stream trying that out, and we'll see how that plays. All the mods are correct. We have 40 mods. The full list is now attached to the last video. So if you want to see the full list laid out, you can go into YouTube on my live streams, and the part 1 for this live stream has the full list. I actually copied that down. Hold on a second. I can paste that for everyone. So not gonna, yeah, this one. Hey, thank you for the subscription. I can't really see who it was, but I appreciate it. Still gotta work with see if I can get Restream to give me alerts like that properly. Like, I can see the alert pop up, but I have nowhere in the feed that lets me see that. So I have to look at the preview screen on my OBS, which is not too large. And a lot of times I cannot see the person's name. So thank you, whoever that was, if you're watching. Even if you're not watching, appreciate the subscription. Oh, right, the list. Push the button. Give me the list. I can WordPad. It's probably trying to connect to my printer. There it goes. Okay. Yeah. See, trying to connect to my printer. So this is the full list. I'm gonna go ahead and actually add this to the description on this video as well. It's settings. Oh, we're powered by Restream. Oh, that's nice. really dislike how it does that. It just wants to impose itself in my videos. Divider in there. Here. Okay. So now the live stream on YouTube also has the full list in the description. Because it's quite a few. I've separated it out, so as you can see. So we have our major content changes. These are things that I think change enough that it's its own. Hey, there we are. Maltese. Appreciate it. So the major stuff. DIY isn't super major. It does change up colony stuff, but it's definitely major for this playthrough because we're going to be focusing on that once we get to it. Experimental hull modifications is pretty major. It just allows you to go crazy. Exotic technologies is major because the AI also use it, the NPC fleets. So that changes up combat quite a bit because you'll encounter them using these things. And then forge production, again, is more important for this playthrough, whereas if you had it in your game, you could completely ignore it and never discover it. It's completely possible. Nexerelin, of course, is the most major content. It changes the game completely into a very different genre, which is very fun. Terraforming and stations, which really changes up colonization, allowing you to terraform planets to a huge extent. DIY planets allows you to terraform to a lesser extent. You usually need to find items in order to make that happen, which we have a couple of those. But terraforming in stations is just straight up crazy. Temporal Shell Legion, not today. We are, for the fleet we're flying today, I'm avoiding using as many vanilla ships, especially larger vanilla ships, as possible, so I will not be using a Legion. Then we have our factions here. DIABLE Co-Combine Pack, which includes 3 different factions, which is also great because they're all independent and one pirate colony from the vanilla game that gets changed into 3 different factions. So it's like very low impact, very low footprint, very small footprint, because it's taking it's taking colonies that already exist and just changing them up. And I think that works really well for this. It's very similar to the MAYASURAN Navy, how they take one of the Persean planets and turn it into its own faction. But this is with like, it's 3 different factions, and I think a total of, I think they're all just on one planet each, that is. Then we have Legacy of ARKGNEISIS, which is another, is it ARKGNEISIS? How do you pronounce that? Well, that's how I've been pronouncing it. We also have No Such Org, another low footprint one. It only adds 1 system, which is really nice. DIABLE adds 3 systems, and it stretches out. It's actually kind of a larger footprint considering how few markets it adds. But I appreciate the design so much that it doesn't bother me one bit. Then we have Philip Andrade Gas Station Manager, of course, just changing up Syndrians, which is great. Reuter Union, which does add a few star systems, but I feel like the other content it adds, like the independent and Reuter bases out in the wild, are well worth it. Plus some of the stuff that it does, it adds the breaker drones, which are fantastic for mining in Nexerelin. And in general, it also adds the Midas hull mod, which allows you to avoid asteroid impacts. And I think Reuter Union is one of the better ones for sure. Some of these, yes, are still outdated. It's Miguel, right? But most of the, I can tell you this, all of the mods that I have in this list, all I did was the standard, you pop into the mod in question, you go to the mod info JSON file. I open mine up in Notepad++, which you can get for free online. And then you just change the game version to 0.97, save it. Make sure you keep the quotations, everything else. All you're changing is the numbers inside the quotations to be 0.97. And then you save that, and that will be reflected inside the mod list. So you can see here with Everybody Loves the Code Combine, it's at 0.97. And that is all you need to do with a lot of mods in order to make them run on the current version. And all the ones that I've tried so far, all the ones that are in this list, are working because we've been playing with them. Angry Periphery is an extension of the Code Combine to make them a bit stronger, but I cannot find the JSON file for this, so I haven't turned it on. Plus, I didn't really want to turn it on right away. I probably will though. The Combine and Nomios, Agrius, they both tend to get taken over very easily because they're just a single planet for the faction. So turning on the buff for them is probably worth doing just to give them a chance. But I haven't done that yet. Back to our list real quick. Warrior Union, Scholar Tech, another great one I highly recommend. Very advanced, but in my opinion, Diable and Scholar are not trying to mimic the game's style, and because of that, they kind of fit in a little bit better, in my opinion, than some of the factions that do try to mimic the game's style. It's not uncanny valley thing, you know. They're on the other side of the valley, but they still fit the game while being unique. I really appreciate that. We've added Talon Shipworks with the Legio Infernalis pirates. That was an accident. I completely tried to disable them. In fact, we can go in there. What you're supposed to do to disable them is go into... No, that's the autosave. Is in the Talon Shipworks, in the Talon settings file, you're supposed to be able to change this to false and have them not spawn. Well, as you can see, I changed that to false, and they still spawned. So, they've been taking over a bit. They've been causing a ruckus. It's fun. It's fine. They haven't won yet. That's what matters. And I've also added the Star Federation, another one that I highly recommend. Very flavorful. If you're a fan of Faster Than Light, it is amazing what they've managed to get included into Starsector from that game. A lot of the same ships, a lot of flavor as well. And it also is all contained in one system, so it only adds one star with it adds 6 markets, 5 markets. Because there's 3 Federation markets and then there's 2 independent markets. Highly recommend Star Federation. They're a lot of fun, and some of the ships are just bonkers. Very fun to fly around in. And all these together tend to balance each other out as well. I didn't mean to add the Lego Pirates because I was building up to also add Iron Shell, which Iron Shell supports the hegemony. Without Iron Shell, I think if I were to leave this game running, the Lego Pirates would absolutely take over and dominate. But that's where we're going to step in to try and put a stop to that. Yeah, they would just wipe everyone. So we're going to try and put a stop to that and get them to a point where they're not dominating as much. Oh, by the way, Broken Helix, I caught your name and officer late, but we do have, I forget the name, it was Ballistic something. I did get that in there. I actually had an officer that had Ballistic Mastery, and I gave them that name. So you did get your redeem. I miss them all so often because I'm mostly looking at my OBS chat, but and I missed the activity feed, but I caught it later. Minor content, we do have a new level of confidence up to 40. In fact, I should add that. Level 40. We have aptly simple hull mods, as well as Carter's Drunk hull mods and unusually gullible hull mods. These are the 3 main hull mod packs. I highly recommend them. It's a great way to mess around with the configuration with a system that is very established in the game. The hull mods, are very compatible with the game, so you're not going to see any weird mod issues by using these, compared to the experimental hull modifications requires a little bit of making sure you're doing it right. And but with these, it's just like plain and simple. Just throw them in there. Find some of them you have to find. Cartridge Junk Hollow mods, I believe, are all available at the start, but the aptly simple and the unusually gullible ones you have to go find. And the unusually gullible ones are usually pretty powerful on top of that. And the ones you find for aptly simple are pretty unique as well. We actually could get some hull mods that allow us to do similar stuff to the Forge production. And I may even enable some of them on top of the Forge production we are already going to do. But I do want to focus more on Forge production than using the aptly simple mods. So for now, I'm not using them. But we may end up using, there's a marine training facility that you can install on your ships. And we might use that one since there's no way for the, like, we might use it to fill in the gaps. Can the AI fleet use those? The AI fleets, like the NPC fleets don't use the hull mods as far as I'm aware. They just use the default variants still. And none of these only add hull mods. They don't change the default variants. Any idea how factions reappear? Never got that event. You have to turn it on. When you start up an Nexerelin game, it is by default that the factions don't respawn. But if you set it to, if you put the settings so that they can, what will happen is, I've seen it happen two different ways. The one way is that when there's a rebellion, after they've been taken over, if that rebellion succeeds, the faction will respawn. But I think that happens even if you have the option turned off. And you can always still, there's three actually. You can, this always, the one I forgot, you can always give a faction a market, even if they've been eliminated, and give them a resurgence yourself. And then the third way, if you have it turned on, occasionally an event will happen, as you mentioned, there's going to be a resurgence, and it's like an invasion fleet that comes in from out of the map somewhere and will usually go towards where their old capital is, or at least one of their old colonies. I think it's specifically their capital. It might just be one of their old colonies chosen at random. And if it succeeds, the faction will return. And I like playing with that because, I mean, it in my opinion, like, it kind of works. Like, there's no real way to completely eliminate a faction. Like, if you think about it, it's always going to have, you're always going to have people escape. There's always going to be something drawn back from the Outer Rim fleet. Yeah, something, yeah. So they come out from the deep and then just recolonize. Or they attempt to take back their lands. It's not often successful depending on who took their stuff in the first place. But if you see it, you can support them. I mean, it's also just as easy. You could just give them a market, take it back for them. But yeah, those are three different ways that you can bring back factions that were eliminated. We're also using an adjustable skill threshold in combination with fleet size by DP. Fleet size by DP means we're not limited to 30 ships. We're instead limited by our deployment points. It is by default set to 600, which is like, if you think about the maximum amount you can deploy being 240, typically, that is. I know there's ways to adjust it to make it higher, but the typical max is 240. It's 2.5 times that. So what I've done is I went in with the adjustable skill thresholds and multiplied all of those thresholds by 2.5 to arrive at the new thresholds. So like for the flight decks, we can have 2.5 times 8 is 20. We can have 20 flight decks for the carrier skills. We can have 300 deployment points for the automated ship skill, because that's 2.5 times the 120 that it originally was. So we can have a larger fleet, and our skills will cover a larger amount of ships as well. Should next be integrated in the main game. It seems like the 4X it was meant to be. See, this is a common mistake that I think people make with this game, because they get so far away from vanilla and they're not familiar with how the game actually was developed. The colony system was added after the fact. It was never meant to be included. I mean, I don't know if it was never meant to, but the original game design did not have that in mind. This game was absolutely supposed to be a more exploration role play featured game, but then the economy system was so nice, the colonization got added, and then people realized that the tools were there, that with just some simple modding, it could be turned into a 4X game. But it is absolutely, the vanilla game is not a 4X game. It's slowly becoming one with the more and more stuff that gets added, but the original game was not. It is, in my opinion, that Nexerelin is a fantastic addition. I love the 4X aspect of it. It's rough around the edges. It's not perfect, but the original game very much was not that. So Starsector itself, no, I don't think Nexerelin should be integrated. That said, once Starsector releases and is done, I think the next project, either Starsector 2 or an official Nexerelin DLC, I think that should be focused on 4X, because once the finished product is done, you've already literally got everything there. People love Nex so much because it adds longevity to the campaign. Otherwise, you just kind of get bored after a while. You are absolutely correct. I'm not denying that. Nexerelin is a huge boon to the game. It really does give it a lot of extra replayability. You can only play so many times in vanilla with nothing changing before it becomes tired and samey. And Nexerelin does add a lot of, like you said, longevity to that. It also gives you a finale, with the end game. So it's not that I'm saying Nexerelin doesn't belong. What I'm saying, though, is the base game is not a 4X game. It's 2X at best. We got the Explore and the Expand, but the Exploit and the Exterminate is not really there. I mean, you can exterminate. So, technically, you can do all 4 of these things in Starsector, but it's not the main game. The main game for Starsector is more like, I've heard it constantly compared to as similar to Mountain Blade. I'm going to snooze that ad for a minute. Similar to Mountain Blade, and after the first time today, I actually went and watched a little bit of Mountain Blade, and yeah, it definitely feels like those games are kind of similar, where it's more about building the fleet and the support for the fleet as opposed to building up colonies and everything. There's a reason why in the main story you don't do any colonization or anything, because that's not the focus of the game. But it's absolutely where the game needs to head after release. I want to see 1.0 first. I like the direction 1.0 is going in. A lot of the new updates, especially the latest update with the colony crisis system, I think that adds that longevity to the game that we've been looking for. It adds a lot more unique encounters, especially on the colony creation side of things, obviously. Hyperspace topography, I think, is really cool. It'd be nice to see some more stuff like that put in, because I don't think anyone saw that coming. The hyperspace topography, and now we have new skills that we can get from it too. It's a very cool addition, and it would be interesting to see if there's other tech focused objectives, or maybe even leadership or industrial focused objectives like that, where you gain points on a chart for leadership or for industrial stuff, or even another tech objective, and unlock some other skills. That would be pretty cool. If I had to pick one thing from Nexerelin that I would like to see in the new game, it would be I like the invasion mechanics. It's a bit rough. The tactics part of it is the menuing. It can be a bit awkward, but the fact that you can use Marines to take over a planet, I think, is fantastic. And that, I think, is something that probably should be added from Nexerelin into the vanilla game more than anything. But in general, the game, let the man cook. Let's see what 1.0 looks like. But I do think that after 1.0, the next goal should be either integrating systems so that it can become on par with Nexerelin, or straight up integrating that system into Starsector and polishing it up a bit. Because it's a very good system. Highly recommend Nexerelin. If you've been playing vanilla and you've already done the story, these are my caveats, is that don't do it first. Play the game first in vanilla. Finish the story. Most importantly, finish the story. Don't, in fact, I tell people all the time, don't colonize. Make that the last thing you do. And no one ever listens to me. They play the game, they do a little bit of the story, they colonize, and they get completely wrapped up in colonization and the crisis system, and then they completely forget about the story. And now they're talking about, and then they start talking about mods and Nexerelin, and I remind them, hey, did you finish the story yet? And they're like, what story? Yeah, play vanilla, finish the story, because then, you know, once you colonize and realize that the base game doesn't have those 4x qualities that you were thinking it did, then you can start over, do Nexerelin, and actually enjoy those aspects and focus on those aspects. Because the main thing Nexerelin lets you do that I love is that you can skip the story. You can just get all of the stuff you would get normally from the story, and you can skip it. And it just, once you're playing Nexerelin, having that option is fantastic. But you absolutely want to get through the story at least once and play enough vanilla. And this is the other thing too. Play enough vanilla that you get comfortable with shipbuilding and fleet balancing. Because once you get into the mods and the extra factions and Nexerelin, the difficulty starts going up if you don't know how to build your fleets and don't know how to balance your builds. It can get a little crazy, and trying to learn to do all that with mods becomes a huge issue, especially if you're playing with some of the mods that I play with. Like if you're playing with experimental technologies and you don't know that you're going to be facing that as well as utilizing it, that can lead to a lot of problems. You're suddenly fighting fleets that are, you know, just a little bit stronger than you're expecting. Or you may not even realize that that's why you're having trouble. Not to mention you could add in a faction that doesn't tell you it's adding something into the game. Some of these factions change the redacted elements in the game, and they don't tell you they did. You just go out there and all of a sudden those fleets are twice as scary as they used to be. And you're like, what the heck happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. Talon ship works. And I think I have another one in here that does. I know Talon ship works does. Actually, I think none of these besides Talon. Actually, no. There is one more. I think it's Seekers. I think Seekers adds another ship to them. Not to mention several of the factions will add pirate variants for the pirate fleets to use. So it can get a little bonkers. But yeah, so we've got new level of confidence, justice skill thresholds. But yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, get some vanilla under your belt. Make sure you're comfortable with playing the game you want to play, the way you want to play it. Because there's so many ways to play this game. You know, I talk about learning to fly. There's plenty of people that have never learned to fly and they're still having fun. So there's a lot that you can do, but I would still suggest cut your teeth in vanilla before adding the mods. And then when you go to add the mods, be gentle. Don't overwhelm yourself. Focus on them, explore them. This is why I like to do lots of playthroughs. I'll just restart and play some more, restart and play some more. It's because I like to experiment with these different mods and find a balance between them. And then maybe one day I get to a file or I take it for a long drive. I mean, with Menace 1, we did 40 hours and then we saw credits because Nexerelin adds credits. And like, that's a long playthrough for me. 40 hours. But that's how quick you can win this game. But once you start adding all the factions and everything, I've seen people with playthroughs where they go a full year and they don't see credits. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If that's the kind of game you want to play, you absolutely can tune this up so that you have a huge playthrough like that. But back to the list, because I just want to get through it. We're almost done, because all this down here is, you know, nothing. Fleet size by DP. Officer extension is another one. Highly recommend. It allows you to demote officers to remove skills which that you don't want, and then they can level up again and get a new skill. Very nice. This needs to be in the base game. There's no excuse for it. It should be in the base game. We also have Seeker Unidentified Contact, adds some unique stuff to go out there and find. What is with the lobster cruiser meme in this game? I mean, come on, there's blue lobsters in the game. How could we not meme it up? I'm definitely going to be doing a lobster versus crab playthrough in the future. We also have Unknown Skies. This is just cosmetic, but it also adds a little bit of content to the planets themselves, like some unique planet modifiers. Like I've seen psychedelic mushrooms on a planet that like eliminate the drug import because you already have drugs, but it also lowers your stability because you have a bunch of people who are high on mushrooms. And then I also saw one where it's an artificial planet that's like built like a maze. So like defenders have a really difficult time attacking it. I've also found a magnetic planet where it's like the magnetic sphere is so powerful that by default it scrambles communications. It's a lot of fun. Then we also have already mentioned unusual global hull mods, but yeah, Unknown Skies is fun. It also adds some backgrounds and changes up some of the planet designs, and I really like it. Another thing to know though, when you're adding a bunch of mods, especially if you have a lower powered PC, is that these mods all take up RAM, and there are lists out there that you can find that detail how much RAM each one takes up. So if you're starting to have your system get bogged down and the game is becoming a little bit difficult to play, go through your mods, see if you can find forum posts about how much RAM they take, and it might change your mind on some of them. And that was the case for me with Seekers and Unknown Skies, is it actually ended up using more RAM than some of the other ones, and it didn't really add that much content by comparison. So I went in and I took them out for the longest time, but I've brought them back because now I have a beast of a PC that can actually handle them. I think my camera froze. Yeah, little bastard, it did. Yeah, completely froze. Yeah, that's more like it. Don't know why it's doing that. It does that sometimes. Then we got some quality stuff. Audio Plus adds some nice new music. My only problem with Audio Plus is it is absolutely not balanced with the other game music, so be careful, you might blow your eardrums out. Autosave, which you have to enable the actual autosave function, otherwise it just reminds you. It's fantastic. Yeah, the memory leak thing is just a Java thing, period. Somebody mentioned that there's a Java mod where you can use the current version of Java, or at least a much more advanced version, because the only one recommended by the creators is there's a Java 8 patch which does fix some of the problems, but once you start adding mods, those problems just return. But there is apparently also a mod you can use and a patch you can use that brings you up to like Java 20 something, I think. I don't know where the heck Java's at right now. But there are ways you can get you can help that. But for now, since the game is 10 years old, we just grin and bear it for now. I mean, at least they're experimenting with actually using Java 8 instead of 7, which is nice. But anyway, autosave is great. It reminds you to save at the very least. But I have it enabled right now so that after 30 minutes, it will just save, which is nice. Captain's Log, highly recommend. It keeps track of like derelict ships that you find. Planets with ruins will now trigger a notification. So if you're not sure, is that rocks? Is that trash? Is that a planet with ruins? You'll see the trigger and you'll know. And if you miss any planets with ruins, it'll be in your log, so you can go and check, double back and check on them. So highly recommend that one's fantastic. We have graphics lib. I put this under quality because it is, even though it's a library, it is something you can put in by itself. I have it in here for the Legacy of ARKGNEISIS requires it, but it does boost the graphics and make the game look prettier, even if you don't need it for anything specific. We also have larger zoom out, another great one, highly recommend. Lets you zoom out further in the battle map as well as the overworld map. You now have the Fleet Journal mod. That's supposed to be an improvement over the Captain's Log. I've always used Captain's Log. I'll have to try out Fleet Journal. I think for my next playthrough, maybe I'll swap them out and see if it is an upgrade or not. Because I couldn't remember which one was the one that I liked. I was pretty sure it was Captain's Log after looking at it, but which means I just never tried Fleet Journal. So I'll have to try that with my next playthrough. If you say that it's supposed to be an improvement, I'll have to look into it. But I do recommend them, just because I've heard so many good things about Fleet Journal and know from experience that Captain's Log is great as well. We have graphics lib, we have larger zoom out, portrait changer. That's a holdover from a different playthrough I was doing, but honestly I like it because sometimes you get a portrait and you're like, no, but it's on a level 7 officer. This helps with that. When it comes up, you're glad you have it. We have scan those gates. This scans all the gates in known markets, so you don't need to run around the core worlds and pick up all the gates, which is fantastic. Highly recommend. It also has a button to reveal the hyper shunts and reveal the cryo sleepers, so that if you want to do like a colonization specifically around those, you can start the game, reveal them right away, see where they're at, and go and explore those places. Hey, you change your face. Yeah, exactly. Portrait train. It's that easy too. It's nice. I also put in simple player faction flags. It has some very it has some flags that I specifically like that aren't so simple. But it's the faction flags and the portrait mods are just in general nice. If you find ones that you click with, go ahead and grab those. Even for vanilla, it's no big deal. Speed up, another one that's fantastic. Lets you go double time on both the overworld and in combat as well. The combat speed up part is probably the most useful part. The overworld speed up takes time to get used to, and it's really easy to start. Like, if you make a wrong step and you have that on, you could be bleeding hundreds of supplies, like getting sucked off by a black hole. So you got to be careful with that. And then witch mod, which tells us who's responsible for whatever the hell it is we're angry about. And then these are just support libraries that some of the mods require in order to run. Graphics lib is one of these, but it's also on its own adds stuff. Most of these don't add things on their own. Retro lib is specifically for Reuters. Lazy, Luna, and Magic are required by a bunch of different mods. And then combat activators is required by Exotic Technologies. And they are, in general, this list here are all mods that I would recommend for one reason or another. And soon in the future, I will put out a ranked list once I get all the mods that I ever use downloaded and tested again. I'll put out a ranked list, and I'll be putting together a mod pack as well for a starter pack for new players just getting out of vanilla, a more advanced pack when you're ready to try Nexerelin, and a full complete this whole list all bundled together and easy to get a hold of. Maybe not all of them, because some of them Audio Plus and Graphics Plus are pretty chunky, but the majority of them could easily be put into a pack. All right, so Twitch is about to run an ad. And I am about to start up the game. Let's go ahead and fire it up, get it moving, and I'm going to take a short break while that fires up. And I will be back. What's the time? I'll be back probably by the time the Twitch ad ends. I'm going to put 50 after. So 8 minutes, but I'm going to be back before that. I'm just going to get some more coffee and have a quick smoke break. and then we will get started. So I'm going to fire up the game while I step away. The ad should be breaking the next like 10-15 minutes anyway, or 10-15 seconds. So I'd be back quickly. There I am. I usually get back before the timer is up. Okay, it's telling me Twitch is back. Welcome back, Twitch. I'm back as well. Go ahead and I think I don't want to hit continue. Just want to double check. Yeah, okay. I want to make sure we're going to get into the right file. Right. So we were in the middle of ship construction when I got disconnected. We were last working on PRS Marigan was redeemed by our Lady Mary. I say lady, I don't actually know. They requested a name and I put it on a ship. They said phase ship, but all I had was gremlins, so but they were happy with that. We've picked up a couple of picos, which are really fun little like super upgraded kites. And we have these guys, which they come with a default AI officer if you don't put an officer into them, but you can fly them yourself or put an officer in them. They're like hybrids. The downside being you can't change their default skills, but you can play into those skills very easily by like, you know, since they have point defense, you can give them more PD weapons and they'll make great use of those. They're fantastic with those. Secret of the Frontiers. No, these are Talon. These are Talon ships. You can see, I can't move the cursor, but you can see down in the second paragraph, the witch mod clicks in and lets you know that this Talon ship works. We also recently got into a fight with some Dorito crumbs, not full Doritos, but bits of Doritos. And we got an insane drop. We got 2 cryo flamers and 2 cryo blasters, which I promptly built this around. This is a Star Federation Basilisk. It's one of the Mantis ships. It is cracked out. We had a corrupt plasma flux catalyst, which increases the usefulness of the efficiency of capacitors, normally by 100%, doubling them, but this is times by 200%, tripling them instead. The math and the wording is weird. It increases by 200%, so it's tripled. But we have a limit on how many we can put in there. However, since our combat readiness is actually above 100%, we can go above that limit without any adverse effects. So that, combined with safety overrides also doubling, we now have 6 times anytime we add event, which is what's allowed us to get so much flux dissipation and feed all of these ridiculous exotic weapons that we picked up. We also got a disintegrator, but I instead chose to put the overcharged fusion torch in from Talon, which is also bonkers. This has given us a ship with the exotic technologies and the exotic weapons that can easily punish these guys. Like, look at that mobility. I forgot those are rockets. I did not get my shield up in time. We got a little toasty on the front end there. You can see with our mobility, we can easily get around these guys. Missed those rockets though. So we are really strong. This is going to be the ship that helps fight back the pirates for sure. We've also got some more basic ships that we're going to be upgrading as we find new ships. But one of the things that I'm doing, that is one big starting fleet. Yes, I'm a sucker for Zero to Hero. This is not what our starting fleet was. Our starting fleet was the 5 brawlers, the 5 vigilants, the 5 gremlins, which we found the 5. We had to buy these because you can't get them when you do your own faction or custom start. We did start with this boy. But it was, and it did us a lot of work. But we found this, we did start with the 10 drone ships, but we found all of these as well. We bought this one. This is one of the few ships we actually purchased because I'm at that with the gremlins, and we purchased the picos and everything else we found. But we did start with the Manicore, the Sunder, the Hammerhead, and an Enforcer. So our starting fleet was, I want to say, just over 500,000 credits, and we did start at level 8. I do that because it cuts out a lot of trading in the early game that I would otherwise do just to get to that point anyway. It basically only saves me a couple of hours doing that because, you know, I'm really good with the trading and building fleets. So that gets us into the game a little bit faster. There isn't a mobility stat available, is there? So there is. Mobility is for turning rate, and you can get auxiliary thrusters that helps that. So the maneuverability is one of the mobility stats that allows you to turn quicker. Helmsmanship will improve that. We don't have helmsmanship yet, but helmsmanship improves maneuverability, and impact mitigation improves maneuverability as well, which is just turning speed. Your actual top speed, though, can be modified as well. Helmsmanship improves that. Safety overrides also improves that. We have these reliant utility drives, which while we have zero flux, it increases our speed. So this is mostly used for like getting across the map at the start of a fight or in the middle of a fight, but it doesn't help your speed during a fight, since as soon as you have flux building up, it turns off. But that, as well as we don't have any exotic, we do have the infernal engines, which also improves our maximum speed and acceleration and turning rate, as well as giving us a +1 burn level. Highly recommend exotic technologies just for those, because it allows you to get your ship's burn level up without having to install hull mods. Very useful. But yeah, this is our fleet right now. We are building a wolf pack. Most of my officers are going to remain in frigates or destroyers. These two are in frigates right now just because they are already max level. I found them at level 5. So I'm just keeping them in smaller ships so that when I get into fights, it doesn't cost me a lot of supplies to deploy them, since they don't need to be deployed necessarily. But when you're in a smaller fight, it's good to have as many officers in that fight as you can, especially if the enemy fleet has a lot of officers. Like if you're fighting redacted fleets, they tend to have a lot of officers. And so even if you're doing a small skirmish, if you don't bring enough ships in with enough officers, the hidden morale stat will kick in, and your ships will fly really goofy. All right, so I need to figure out what I want to do with these guys. One thing I was really enjoying was putting the light dual. Let's actually get to port. And make sure I have these. We're going to be using this, so I'll turn that on. You need this on for the experimental hull mods to get access to the parts you need to change the hull, to change the size of the turrets. But for these guys, I don't think I actually want to change the size of any of these turrets. They're fine. But by building in over-engineering, it also gives us a 20% ordnance point increase, which is really useful. So while I'm probably not going to use the slot points to upgrade any slots, I'm going to build it in anyway just to get the extra ordnance points. So we're going to do that for both of these. Although now I'm thinking about it, after doing that, I could then add, oop, no, not that. We could also add, I need to turn converter on, auxiliary generators, and that gets us another ordnance point, or another slot point for free. And I could put these up to medium mounts. Here we go, medium slot converter. And then I could add in heavy machine guns for point defense. Do like heavy machine gun and like a flak cannon. Because they have specialized point defense, this could be really nice for them. Doesn't take a lot of flux. That's the main thing with the experimental hull mods to remember, is that you only have so much flux to work with. So you know what I'm actually going to do after doing that? We're going to put in the adapter to split these into dual mounts. So we turned our 2 single mounts into a medium mount and then back into dual single mounts. We're going to turn on our adapters, and that did not work. Doesn't like you doing that. Hold on, maybe if I do it without the no, I need the auxiliary generator. Darn. That would, I thought for sure that would work. Yeah, it doesn't let the game, it doesn't want you to stack things like that, because that would have been cheesy as hell. All right, so that's fine. We can live with this. I could change this one into a dual mount, depending on how I want to do this. Because I'm worried about adding too much flux. Because if I added like this is pretty hungry. And then if we also added, like I was thinking, the dual flat cannon and the heavy machine gun, like now we're at a lot of flux. And I also really want to put the PD lasers on them still. And yeah, now we're at the point where this thing would struggle to maintain. So that's just too overburdened. We could instead do just the heavy machine gun, which doesn't take too terribly much flux compared to the dual flat cannon. I mean, neither of them are that bad. But I could also put instead a missile launcher on, a boom tube. And then we could put this on. Ooh, still use a lot of flux there though. And that's the balancing act here. Is like, I could upgrade these to be larger like this. But I think in the end, we're better off not doing that. Or maybe I'll just do the one, since we get the 1 point for free. We'll put the heavy machine gun back on. Put the blast cannon back on. And then for this, we'll just do a small missile launcher. Do I have 2 zaps? I only have 1 zap. Like the zaps are good. I also only have 1 Lido. I'm looking for a regenerating missile. I could put Salamander or the EMP on the Maiden EMP MRM, similar to a Salamander, except it does more EMP damage. It's just for general EMP. How come engine tinkering never came to be a thing like this? I'm not familiar with engine tinkering. Is that a different mod? I love medium TPDs. Feels like the 88s in World War II, way overkill, but good overkill. Yeah, the PD is one of these things that can be really underestimated quite often. Because if you look at this, it's got 450 range. That's gonna get extra on top of it from the point defense specialization. I think it's. Do I have anyone that actually has point defense specialization? No, hold on. It adds, yeah, it extends point defense weapons by 200. So now we're reaching out to 650 with the machine gun, and it does a great job. I mean, you're not going to find better flux to damage ratio except on frag weapons, but the fragmentation weapons, you got to remember, that's going to be quartered most of the time. So like the heavy machine gun and the dual light machine guns are, this guy, are really, really, really efficient with their flux to damage ratio. And it does feel a little unbalanced sometimes. Just a little bit. But those are, I mean, those are vanilla as intended. It's just we're throwing them in the places where they shouldn't be. You love sparingly shock repeaters. Yeah, shock repeaters are fantastic. We actually picked up a couple. I forget where they ended up. That was part of our, we had an insane drop. Because I also got a disintegrator. We got the 2 frosty boys that are on our main ship. We picked up 2 shock repeaters, which I think are still in storage. I don't think I found a ship that I could work them onto. Because like this guy needs he needs too much for that. Oh, you know what? I could over-engineer this ship. But I'm still not certain I want an AI flying this ship. They're really kind of awkward when you give them something a little too good like this. They think they're too strong and then just fly in and get killed. Yeah, I don't think this shock repeaters ended up on a ship yet. I want to put them on this guy though, but honestly they should be on someone with point defense as well. But we also got a resonator MRM and an antimatter MRM, which I put on the Gremlin. With a mining laser. This thing's silly. This is the custom phase frigate I built for Mary there. We may try to get the, because I was, like I said, I was in the middle of building ships, so I might end up putting the shock repeaters on this guy. So let's do these guys first. We're working on this one. I'm thinking I like the heavy machine gun. I just need to make sure that he has enough extra left over. I really want to put zaps on them. The zaps are great. They recharge. They have a lot of ammo count, but I've only got the one. All right. So what I think I'll do is I'll put zap on this guy, and then the other one we'll just throw something else on there for now. And this will be fine. Crank the vents up, crank the capacitors up, and we'll see if there's anything else I want to add. Comes with the spatial skimmer, with which is like an improved range phase skimmer. The thing with these guys is they have a really small shield, and you cannot add shield mods to them. You also cannot add resistant flux conduits to them. It's like the balance for the fact that they're otherwise really good. They're very maneuverable. Oh, I love that. It's just so good. Pew pew pew. So we have the zaps, but you can't really see their effect when they're not actually attacking something. But yeah, the tiny shield. Look at that tiny little shield. But I tell you, these guys make good use of it when you put them on autopilot. I don't like flying these things because of that tiny shield, but the AI does a great job of piloting them. I don't know that there's anything I want to install on top of what they've already got. It's like I said, we can't install these. You get the hull mod conflict. Doesn't let you. Same with resistant flux conduits. Won't let you. We could put the flux distributor in. Get a little bit more flux management on it. We also have a lot of stuff in Carter's junk haul mods we could add, but I don't think anything specific jumps out at me. So I'm thinking what I might do is just drop the capacitors by 1 so that we can put the flux distributor on, give them a little bit more flux management. And at some point I might just even build that in. Oh, you know what I didn't consider? We have unusual ones as well we could look at. Reactive breakers, what are these again? If overloaded, affects install the long forgotten pro consumer armor reactor technology from a bygone era. Makes the shields less efficient. But if overloaded, effects will increase armor damage resistance as well as weapon and engine repair time. Interesting. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, these guys don't get overloaded a lot, so I don't think this is going to be something useful for them. Yeah, I don't think any of these are that great. I don't know that we can even install this one. Oh, it will let us actually install Maximal Shield. Oh, this actually lowers the shield arc even more, so probably not that one. And this one is interesting because it makes the shield take more damage, but allows you to vent hard flux while the shield is up. What is lightning rate keeps coming out of the ships? Yeah, so that one is cosmetic. When these guys deploy, that's just cosmetic. It doesn't do anything for them. It's just to show how awesome they are. Do they actually have the time boost effect? No, that's these guys. These guys have a slight time dilation to them. It's like 10%. Yeah, permanently accelerating the ship's time flow by 10%. So these guys do actually move a little bit faster with the time dilation. You can actually see the cool visual effect of it. I like that. A lot of fun little after images. But it's only 10%. It's essentially like 10%. Everything just 10% faster, which is nice. It's fun. Yeah, I'm thinking this is the build. This is the cannon I'm thinking of, right? Yeah. Because there are other cannons that look similar. I think that's the one I'm going to put on it. It's just a general long-range cannon. I don't want them to get too close, which they're going to do anyway, which is why I like the machine gun on them. Because the faster you overload an enemy shield, the less they can attack, which is nice. It's a ship S-mod that adds a flux building PD ray. Oh, interesting. I don't think I have that one. I haven't found that yet. If it's in unusually gullible, then I haven't found it. But if it's it might be in a pack I just don't have. Maybe. Ooh, burst capacitors. All energy weapons deal more damage, have their range increased, but have their fire rate reduced. Might actually be worth doing since our primary weapon, I believe, counts. No, it's a ballistics. It does not count as energy. Never mind. And I don't think there's any. I was using the Diablo beam, which was fun, but I think I'm happier with this. It's like, even though it does energy damage, it counts as a ballistic weapon. The PD arc hallmark thing from VIC. Yeah, that's the VIC is a faction that I'm planning on adding in soon. Speaking of them, how you doing, Zigbot? It's good to see you. I don't want to change their ship system. I like the spatial skimmer, and I don't think there's anything that they would necessarily do better with. Obviously, everything does better with temporal shell, but the way I do it is I'm only going to add temporal shell to one ship if I use that ability. So for like the really broken hull mod or ship systems, I try to limit how many I use if I add them in. So like I have a ship with temporal shell, but the Harlequin comes with temporal shell, so that one doesn't count. I still have one that I could give temporal shell to. But a lot of times fast missile racks is more fun, like on that guy. Having fast missile racks on this super missile is just hilarious. This super missile is so good. It punches the enemy so much that it moves their ship. It's great. But I still need to decide what I'm going to put on this guy. I think I'm just going to put the flux distributor though, because I don't know that there's anything in here. Oh, actually, hold on. Modifies the flux systems, increasing flux dissipation by 10% and reducing capacity by 10%. That actually would be useful. Let's throw that on. Swap out some capacity for some dissipation. Forgot about that. Don't need 0 flux bonus. I don't want to overclock. Weapon overclock is really fun. It increases the rate of fire, but also increases the flux use. But it's one of those things where it can be like, it's a really big boost. It's by 25%, it increases the rate of fire. But the 20% more flux use, like if you can feed that, this is a really fun skill. I may actually end up installing that on my Basilisk, because I think we have the room for it. Extends the range of point defense weapons by 50%. But it increases the rate of in-combat decay after peak performance runs out by 10%. That's not that bad. They have a good peak performance time. I think we will do that, since we already have like the points we would have gotten for putting in the flux distributor anyway, by swapping out some capacity for it. The engineering section is nice though. It increases repairs to weapons and engines, but it uses a little more supplies per month. I don't know why it says -5%. It says the additional crew uses more supplies. Right, it does increase it properly. I don't know why it says -5%. It does increase the supply. Our shielded ship's worth it because getting hard flux is quite a bonus. Yeah, the shielded ships are hard to build. There's a lot of things you got to take into account, like EMP. But you essentially invalidate any kinetic weapons, which is really nice. And they can be really good. The problem though is like things like missiles and torpedoes and other high explosive weapons then become much more dangerous because you don't have a shield to bounce them off of. But doing the shield, a shieldless run is actually very fun, and it's something that I'm going to be doing soon in the future. So yeah, I'll throw the engineering section in for weapon repairs. It's something that's really useful, again, on ships without shields, is using either the engineering section from this mod or using the automated repair unit that we don't have yet. Because they're going to get hit by EMP weapons, or they're going to get hit by just weapon fire in general. And the main thing is if their engine's cut out, they're toast. But if you throw that in there to help them repair a little faster, then it helps a lot. So that's our fit for now. We need to add the medium converter. And then we need to do this manually. Because it will not do that automatically. But with that bolted in, oh, we don't need the adapter activator. With that bolted on, everything else should build in properly. And I'll leave the swarm rack on him for now, until we get another zap. All right, this is what I was in the middle of. I was thinking of doing 2 large mounts and then splitting the large mount it already has. Because what I was thinking of adding on here was, oh, we didn't get enough points to do it. Or we didn't turn the converter on, actually. We have enough points? Yeah, require additional 2 deployment points, that's fine. Hull mods are providing 2 points. The converters and shunts are utilizing 2 points. Okay. I could have swore these cost more. But apparently we are properly set up. Get adapter on. So now we have, instead of the medium, large, medium, we have a large, small, medium, small, large. Not sure what I want to do with it yet. Oh, I know what I wanted to do with it. I wanted the Peppa cannons. Is that not set up right? It isn't set up right. So yeah, no. We need 2 more points to feed this. So I could divert these. Yeah, because that's a large synergy turret. That's a medium slot converter. So it didn't take it because we don't have enough slot points. But we could add the engineering auxiliary generators, but they only add 1 point to a destroyer. So instead, I'm going to divert these 2. Small slot diverter. Put 2 of those in, and that gets us our 2 points. And look, boom, large synergy turret. Pod already converted it. The Expanse series were right. A LRPD, aka big MGs and missile combo, should be enough for lighter ships. A lot of times it can be. Like, that's what I like about the Vigilance, is I'll just put salamanders on them and then like a general weapon. But a lot of times that general weapon ends up being a point defense weapon. Just because once they're, while they're doing their missile thing, they can help cover point defense. I'm probably going to end up putting kaleidoscopes on these guys as well as I get more kaleidoscopes. But right now I don't have extra. I only have the 2 that I here. But yeah, they PD on your ships helps a lot. I have these guys built up for sniper style. But on smaller ships in general, like, the point defense weapons are great because they don't require a lot of flux. So like on these guys, the medium weapon is taking up a lot of the flux, but the mini pulsar does as well when you sustain the fire. So this is something that I'm wondering how they'll behave with it. But I gave them resistant flux conduits, so hopefully they'll be able to make that work. I'm actually going to swap out for the flux swap, get them a little bit more dissipation on top of what they've already got. That 10% is worth it. What else? Oh, we gotta fix this guy still, right? So the Peppa cannons. I was gonna put the blackout on up front and center, but it uses so much flux and I wanted to utilize the over-engineering to get access to 2 mounts. And so I wanted to have 2 of the same gun on there. We only have 1 blackout. As we increase the range, they'll be even better. I mean, it definitely doesn't have the flux to keep that up. So we'll need to work around with it. Weapon overdrive is the ship system. I might change that to maneuverability jets or plasma jets. For these small mounts, though, we are definitely going with the PD. So those will reach out to 500. And I kind of want to put the disintegrator on. But I'm thinking I'd be better off just putting some more PD on. I could go with 4 machine guns up front. That would be very efficient. Let's actually go. I'm going to do that. Let's actually swap this out for the 4 small mounts. I hope I have enough light machine guns to put in. Yeah, I do have plenty. Yeah. Or actually, hold on. Let's do 2 of these as Vulcans. Because I'm going to safety overrides this. The more I'm thinking about it, it'll, well, actually, we can get there without safety overrides. Which will be better. All that lead will blot the sun. Exactly. That's the idea. Because this is already fragmentation damage anyway. So we have a little bit of kinetic to help drop the shields. And then just tons of fragmentation damage. Once the hull is cracked open, these will just be monstrous. Which reminds me. Trying to think if there's a way we can get more HE on here. I mean, these are composite turrets. I could build these as assault guns to help crack armor open. Or I could put the annihilators on. AI does a good job of behaving with annihilators. They use them to as strike weapons a little bit, so they'll like, they won't spam them unless they're pretty confident they'll land the shot. Whereas if you put swarmers on, they tend to spam them out against fighters, so they don't get used to crack armor. Breachers are good for cracking armor, but they don't have a high ammo count. Plus, I only have the 1 set of breachers right now. So I guess we'll go with the annihilators, and then this has, I mean, I have it. Could put the shock repeaters on the back end. Let's do that. Vents are good. We can include the flux swap to get a little bit more. Put the PD pep on as well to increase the point defense even further. I think we'll do that. What's your burn rating? It's 9, right? Yeah, he's good. Don't think we need any of these. Weapons, energy weapons get their range increase as well. I think right now with all the stuff we've added, what's the range on our point defense? All right, so our point defense is not outranging. That's what I was wondering, is if it would get too much range. No, I think because the I don't think the PD pep is, the PD pep modifies the base range, and then the point defense is added on top of that. So the point defense isn't being multiplied by the PD pep, but they are going out to quite a large range, which is nice. They may actually be getting multiplied by the PD pep. I'm not sure. No, no, no. They'd be much closer if they were, if it was getting modified by that. So we could put the integrated targeting in though, and increase all of the weapons range. So I'm hoping that I can get it balanced out so that the low capacity won't be as much of an issue. It's got a small, tiny shield anyway. It's not like the shield is going to be the majority of what it uses. All right, let's actually see how it. Whoop, wrong button. G. Let's bring in adventure. Could easily be able to tackle adventure. Actually, let's let it fly on some. See how it behaves. After all, the AI is going to be flying it. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that point defense is up front is doing a good job of covering the blind spot of the shock repeaters. I'd say it's a success. I don't know why he's backing off right now. All his weapons are charged up. His flux is fine. He shouldn't have backed off right there. He should have pressured harder. Armored weapon mounts. Either that or engineering section. It's got impact mitigation elite though. I forget if that helps engine. I think it's damage control that I'm thinking of. But we might be able to squeeze in the engineering section. This doesn't take a lot. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's keeping him in the range of the PD weapons too. I think that's a roaring success. Let's see if we can take on an onslaught. Not an onslaught, one of the boys. Oh, it's behind him. Let's see how you do against this. Oh, it's not the one I was expecting to deploy. Well, that's what you got. Unfortunately, he went a little too close, caught up on their PD. Oh, I guess the shock repeaters are good enough. He fluxed out, but it disabled the engines. The shock repeaters are good enough that they can just accidentally, that they can sometimes reach out and get the enemy, especially if you get closer. It's like, look, you can see them every once in a while triggering and hitting the enemy shields. Oh, I think the Peppa cannons are the ones doing the EMP arcing. Okay, so yeah, this thing is more than fine. This is fantastic. I don't know what that was. That alternating fire to sustain the flux generation is fantastic. I wish the AI would use that more often. I don't know why he pulled back. He had the victory right there. He could have pressured him and won. Is he out of rockets? He's out of rockets. That might have been why he pulled back. He didn't have any strike weapons specifically. But still, that was a opportunity. So it isn't doing a great job on the sides. The shock repeaters aren't doing too amazingly. Maybe I move them up to the front and leave the Vulcan cannons on the back. The thing is I don't want the shock repeaters to be used on the offense because they take a lot of flux. This just might not be the build for the shock repeaters. It might be better if I take them off. Just put a couple of Vulcan cannons on instead. It's definitely holding his own though. Something for shields. Well, I mean, that actually, you know what? We could put in more of the light dual machine guns up front. for shields. Let's swap out the shock repeaters though. I think we'll be better off with well, you know what we could do is no. I'm gonna say we could do something like this, but I'd rather have the Vulcan cannons. They're cheap, super cheap. Flux per second is cheap as hell. They're great. And then we can swap these ones up front for extra light machine guns to go up against the shields. He really spammed out the Annihilators faster than I was expecting. Still, I think that's the better bet. But let's get that engineering section in there to help with repairs, since I don't have automated repairs yet. A little more capacity. Engineering section will help with repairs. Impact mitigation is not the repair one, right? No, that's the maneuverability. But it does reduce weapon and engine damage. No, this is the one that was damage controls, the other one that does repairs. I think that'll be fine. But he was already doing well enough. The needing to pressure the shields is not such a big deal because there are other ships in my fleet that can take up that that can make up that difference. Hear you out, nukes. I mean, we could just slap 2 Cyclone Reapers if I had them, but I don't have them. No, but I do have hammers. The thing is, I don't want to turn this into a missile cruiser. It's got the ability to carry these, and I really like these. I think that's the way that we're going to do it with this guy. I need to remember with this that I have... I think I'm going to put these... I kind of want to put the Pegasus on their own, but though I like the combination of hitting them with the torpedoes and then having the the fragmentation missiles follow behind. It's very strong. I'm just not utilizing it correctly. You could make it a very good missile cruiser, especially considering we could, if we wanted to, add in fast missile racks or missile auto forge. It would be insane. But I would rather not with this guy, just because I can't put an officer. I can't change the officer's skills like you can with other AI, so we can't give him missile specialization. I would rather come up, find a ship, and we could put an officer in here, but the best thing about these is they do count as having an officer when you don't. Like the Void Child is like the default officer that it has if you don't put an officer in. So they count for the wolf pack. So it's 3 extra officers for the wolf pack for free without having to get automated systems. So I would prefer to leave them without the officer. And without an officer, a missile cruiser is just not as good. So since I can't choose the skill, and I'm just going to keep building them with the point defense in mind, largely. That's why I have the point defense up front for the offense. If anything, I wish I could... I wish over-engineering would give me 2 points, because then I wouldn't need these 2 diverted. I could potentially divert different weapons instead. Like I could divert 2 of these and bring these back. But I don't think we have that big of a gap. I don't think the gap there is a problem. Here, let me actually do this the way I would do it myself. So I would have all of these on the same. Just have them firing on auto. Like we do have a gap in our point defense. But the thing is anything coming straight at us is going to get shredded. Anything coming along that gap, I'm convinced it'll easily pivot itself. Plus it does have its tiny little shield, which just barely covers that gap. I'm not as worried about that gap. I'd rather have all these guns pointing forward so that they're constantly firing forward on enemy shields, if anything. Because the thing with point defense weapons is they will auto fire and prioritize missiles and fighters. So I want it to, if it wants to prioritize it, point it. It'll point it at themselves. Because again, this is for the AI to fly, not for me to fly. So I think that'll be fine. We don't need to move those. yeah, I'm happy with it. The only other thing I would potentially do would be to divert the missiles instead, but I don't know. I think I want to put breachers on it instead of the annihilators. Well, I mean, if I just got rid of these though, yeah, because I don't want to add any high explosive, because the only thing we could really do is add light assault gun, which would just chew up too much flux. It's already in a balancing act. It's already walking a tightrope with flux. We really need to acquire not the hyperactive capacitors. They're terrible because they increase weapon flux. But there's another one that's you can find that decreases weapon flux cost. We want to try and get a hold of those at some point. But for now, this will work. We already have small missiles on. Why not add more? Because just because we can doesn't mean we should. But like I said, it's because we can't give this officer, we can't give him missile specialization. And so for this specific ship, I'd rather use the default officer to add more to the wolf pack. But we will eventually be replacing these 3 generic destroyers with some more exotic destroyers. And when we do, we will be putting in a serious missile cruiser. It's just a matter of, yeah, we do have somebody who has missile specialization. So yeah, it's just a matter of finding a boat for her to fly. And we haven't found that yet. But once we do, we have the officer. We'll make something crazy. I mean, we do have this for a missile cruiser, by the way. I mean, this guy is fine. Why are you sassing our boy? Like, he's got his big Booma missile. All right. And fast missile racks to reload it with. He's fine. We don't need any missile cruisers. I mean, look what he does. Okay. Hold on, where's something I can punch? Let's punch a donut. You want to punch a donut? Let's punch a donut. Come here, you. Oh, you already toasted us. Donut's actually too strong to show the effect. Hold on, let me punch something a little more my size. Okay, this guy's a little more my speed. Boop. Look how hard that hits. Boop. Oh. Is it gonna make it? Is it gonna make it? Is it gonna make it? Got him! A reload. Boop. Oh, he got that one. Boop. Got that one. How you doing, buddy? I got another one. Boop. Oh, I got another one. Boop. Oh, that one got away. Dang it, the drift. The AI is good at firing. Oh, I got you. Oh, we got another one. Look how far it sent them flying. Oh, it's so goofy. I love that thing. It's goofy as hell. Oh, all right. So these guys are over-engineered. We'll figure out what else we want to build in later for them. We worked on this one. We got the Picos up to speed. This guy's already been built. Harlequin. Let's take another look at the Harlequin. Because I'm thinking of trying to fit the shock repeaters on here. I do have another flux catalyst. In fact, I have another corrupted flux catalyst. You don't have combat endurance, but we can fix that. Yeah, you know what? Let's make this guy crazy. I don't have anything better than the heavy blasters. I mean, I do have a disintegrator, but disintegrators are cool, but they're not cool enough, you know. Disintegrators are great for frigates that harass, but they're not that great on... Oh, you know what? This is a destroyer. We could... Trying to think of how we could over-engineer this. If I make these mediums, we can put the heavy blasters on here. And then I could split these into 2 mounts. And we could do shock repeaters on the flanks. And then we could have 2 other things in the middle. We'd get a couple extra mounts. It would limit the shock repeaters, though. Like, we would suddenly lose our flexibility on those turrets. That's the reason why I'm thinking against it. We could make one of these larger, though, and make this guy off kilter. Like, give him a large mount and then split this one into 2 small mounts. Or even leave it as a medium and put the disintegrator on. And then... Yeah. But what would we put there? Oh, I could put the blackout on him. Oh, beautiful. Look at it. That's a match made in heaven. 700 range, 800 range. It's good range. Shook repeater. The only problem is he doesn't have the PD skill. We would need to get him the PD skill. Let's take away damage control. Trying to decide if I want to do this now or if I want to wait. I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to wait. We're going to wait until we get officer training, because that's like my next skill. Yeah. So he'll get level 6. We'll see what skill he gets for level 6, because either way he'll have to level up again anyway. Because if he gets a crap skill for level 6 too, it takes 1 story point to pull off as many skills as you want. So we could pull off 2 skills for 1 story point instead if we got another skill that I don't want. So we'll just hold off for now. But yeah, I know it doesn't look right, but cursed ships, that's what this is all about. Yeah, we're gonna leave that on. I like the shock repeaters though. But see, now I'm thinking, you know, without the point defense, plus I wanted to safety overrides this. So maybe we should look at stuff that's shorter range. Like maybe the Hellspitter cannon. Oh my god, look at the range. You gotta touch him. Oh, that's the shock repeater. Okay. That's the shock repeater. But yeah, this is why I wanted them on mounts, so they can turn as well. I kind of like it. I think I like that. It's definitely cursed. I'm not gonna lie. It is absolutely cursed. But I think these work well together. Because having this have less range means that it's gonna have to get up close to use it anyway. How does this work again? With the drastically reduces weapon ranges past 450. Okay, so it's not I don't think it's cutting it too much. I think it's like half or something. I forget exactly. This is working fine. This will work fine. Yeah. Because the only way we would get another large mount is if we got rid of the 2 shock repeaters. And I like the I actually kind of like the asymmetrical myself. I think it's silly. Not sure I'm sold on the Hellspitter, but I like it. It's silly. And then on the back, we'll just put a... Oh, I forgot I had a rift lance. Not for this guy. We need a point defense. I can just put a regular PD laser on it. So we don't have a lot of space left, and I need Vente. Yeah, I think that's fine. We're definitely spending a lot of ordnance points up front and on safety overrides. That's like the majority of our ordnance points there, but I think this works. I think this guy will be fine. I say as he immediately bonks 2 rocks. You gotta put your shield down, nerd. Get back in there. Do it like this. Come on. Oh. Oh, I just realized that all my weapons are on auto fire anyway. I don't think he's getting away with all that disintegration going on. Hmm. I like that it can continuously fire with the Hellspitter. I like the Disintegrator. The Disintegrator is just fun. But I don't think they work together. I think we would be better off with maybe the Shield Lance. Give you something thick. Go to town. I think the Shield Lance will be a better move. It just made a Starsector even harder using a mod that increases the amount of ships every fleet has by a lot. I mean, that works if you're doing larger fleets, but as somebody who mostly plays the Wolf Pack, large fleets can be really annoying. Yeah, I think the Shield Lance works great to synergize with the shock repeaters. Whereas the Disintegrator was like, is fun for cracking armor, but it doesn't, this ship doesn't really need to worry about the armor as much. Because that plasma cannon is going to blast through the armor anyway. Yeah, look at how good that is. That's nice. Yeah, I think he's better off with that. And he can support all those weapons a lot easier. The burst. The fact that this has also such a long refire delay means he's not constantly trying to fire it. I'll manage his flux better. The only thing I want to change is I'm thinking of putting the flux core into it. The flux catalyst. Yeah, let's go for it. Not the corrupted one, I don't think. I mean, I am safety overriding. Heck it. No, we don't. No, we don't have the room though. Hey, see, here's the thing though: is if he gets combat endurance and point defense, would I be happy with that? We've got to make point defense elite. Energy Weapon Mastery is eventually going to not be elite. Energy Weapon Mastery might be the part of the reason though why his flux is already good. Because normally I do field modulation and gunnery implants always elite. And keep the Energy Weapon Mastery. And then we can do point defense elite as well. The systems is not super important on him. Although it's usually a great one to make elite as well, but with the limit on officers, I prefer having the gunnery implants elite to get the ECM rating and the field modulation to get the soft flux venting out, or being able to vent through hard flux a little bit. So eventually I could see him getting the combat endurance for the extra combat readiness. The reason being is that the flux catalyst, when you go over the amount of capacitors you're allowed, it will lower your combat readiness. And you only get 4 on this one. So like, look, his combat readiness is already getting a dip. But we net out about the same flux dissipation with less vents. And once he does get combat readiness, we can put that up even higher. We can also put up the capacitors a bit. We can do our flux swap to get him a little bit more. And I have 1 point left. I think I would rather take out a single capacitor. Oh no, how can I? It's the Hellboy. Oh, I love it. You know what? What am I gonna do with his last point? I don't think anyone else has a single point ability. Oh, I definitely want to put the red engines. You're red now. You're on red team. Yeah, let's do the 1% swap. Not hull swap, armor swap. You have 5 armor for 1% hull drop. That's great. Or I could upgrade the PD laser to a burst. No, not the burst. Never mind. I'm wrong. Don't listen to me. Or we could just drop 1 combat readiness for even more vent. Yeah, let's do that. Because it's so many points we get for that. I think that's the one. I think that's how we go. It looks great. That's our BFG Heliquin. Gotta get a hyphen in there, right? Heliquin. Yeah, it's beautiful. Plus, I really like the red engines and shield. I think they look really good just flying around. You lose it a little bit when it goes temporal, but that's nice. It's also this background is not helping for the red. I want to see red. Come on. But anyway. I have been mixing some blue into the fleet. This is the thing, is like, I think I want the fleet to largely be in the red, in the, well, specifically in this orange spectrum. But I did do blue for this one. And we have blue on this one already. That's fine. Maybe I'll change them later. I'll change them all to be something red or blue. This, I believe, was something we put together randomly out in the wild. I don't think this was a full build. It's like it's just built with stuff I had. Because I gotta put the blackout on this one. Oh, there's a Lita over there. You know what? Hold on. These guys. Give me that shock repeater. And you can have... Or the zap, I mean. I know I have Litos. Where are they? Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's only 3. Nice. Perfect. And we'll put that shock or the zap on you instead of the Lito. So there it is. Yeah, I think that works out better. Keep the Reaper for funds. For funsies. Because I don't think I have another Pegasus. No, I don't. You can take the Midas off, though. Something more useful on. And I had the sensor cloak because I wasn't home, but now we can build on interference shielding. There we go. What's your burn rate? 9. You're already pretty fast. Maybe we just improve the shields. Then again, oh, it's all right, legitimately actually pretty fast. It's got high energy focus. That's fine. Like, it's just supposed to be a big puncher in the ship. Load, never know what you do. I'm guessing those are song lyrics. Zigmat. Oh, we can stabilize the shield. Let's go ahead and build that in. We got, ooh, actually we are low on story points, considering at some point our officers are going to be eating a bunch of them. So let's just leave this as is. I think that's a good balance. Because our cruisers are not going to have officers in them for a while. They're just here to bring in for in case of emergency when we need extra firepower. But we're not trying to waste that combat readiness or the supplies that the combat readiness costs. It's already expensive enough to bring in our smaller ships. Ah, this was one I wanted to level up. Do we still have an officer who's not being used? No, we have an extra slot is what it was. I wanted to utilize this because of its... I'm still not sure how I feel about it. Because these are kind of annoying. Let me know what you think. Well, I mean, there's only one part of Danger Zone that I know, and that's the title. It sounds like a record scratch. I don't know if I want this guy in my fleet. You know? It's just every once in a while, just out of the nowhere, it's... I don't know. The only reason why I'm thinking about it is because I could replace one of my more vanilla ships. But I don't think I want to replace the Sunder with this. I mean, they're all right. Just not that excited about it. Expanded missile racks for these little missiles though? Huh. It doesn't have enough mounts for me to really make it a missile cruiser though. Like we can make these into mediums, but I think we'll just bench this for now. Oh, where'd it go? It's up here. We don't really have much in storage at the moment. This is the Prometheus for later. The old Enforcer we were using, but we booted that thing out as soon as we found a replacement. I'm actually tempted to leave these two both behind, but considering our goal is to fight them, I don't think I need to worry about it now with this thing especially. I think our firepower is good enough that we don't need these cruisers with us. Also, the Bison does more than enough, even though these guys are fantastic. Now we'll bring them with us for the extra cargo space. So with, who's giving you the cargo pods? I forget. Yeah, Carter Junk Hull Mods gives you these cargo pods. They're stupid. So good. This guy is adding 1,400 cargo capacity by himself. And I didn't even build in expanded cargo holds yet. It's just so stupid. Oh, love it. So yeah, we'll keep bringing them along. Okay. Storage. We don't need any of these. I'll just hold on to that in there. We need like you with there we go. We'll need a few of those. We'll just go over to Castellar and pick up some stuff. Don't need any of this. Get out of my inventory, thank you. But we are going to hold on to all these. This is an atmospheric mineralizer, not the planet killer. The MIDI cruiser from Scholar. Oh, there's a lot of scholarships that I really like. I'm hoping to find some out in the wild because I'm not going to be buying any ships unless we really, really, really need cruisers like some Colossus or some Atlas and Prometheus, unless we really need them and I can't find them. But cruisers and Atlas aren't too hard to acquire through salvaging. We just need to go fight some people sometimes. Just get some support ships. Like if I really want Colossus, they're not hard to acquire. But the Stellar Reflector Core here, like it's a part of the, I think the DIY kit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's DIY. That they have some terraforming items, and that's what these are. This one gets rid of toxic or dense atmospheres, and this one allows to manipulate the light levels on a planet. Both of which are pretty cool, but I hate how they're just reskins. Drives me crazy. I mean, this is just straight up the planet killer, which is now an item. Get your own damn sprite, please. Like, just add a fancy effect to it, and then like no, I don't like it. No, reskin it completely. You might be able to get away if you flip the image and add an effect and really recolor it, but like this is a huge tease every time you find one. It's just I hates it. Anyway, but they do cost money, so we can't sell them. I don't think we have anything stored here besides weapons and supplies and stuff. Oh, we need some gas. Oh, wait. There we go. Yeah, all right, let's go pick up some supplies. Wait, doesn't this stockpile here? Hey, stockpile's here. Oh, but I don't want to lose all my money. I mean, we could just go into debt. I am a huge fan of going into debt. It's like my favorite pastime. Or I could sell off some weapons. We have a lot of weapons. A lot of fighter packs we're not going to use too. But I don't want to. It's my horde. You know what we could do? Let's go fly over, not fly over, but warp over to the Star Federation and give them all of my survey data and encourage them to like colonize. That'll be how we get our money. We can buy supplies off of them too. Let's turn that off. And we are... Do I have gas here? No, so I'll have to pick up gas as well. Head over to Octavia. Turn on our transponder. Got a command spire. We have orbital works to do. None cheaper nearby, right? No, actually Cassadar. Because I gave Cassadar the a corrupt nano forge. So they actually have cheaper supplies. Unless I want to go to Chico. But I don't. I am literally here to sell things and pick up all these hull beams because I love hull beams. And Lidos. We're just here to sell things, glaive beams. But we're just here to sell things. There you guys go. Go explore the galaxy and please don't fall apart when so we want to go to Sessatalk. Pick up that. Is there anyone nearby? There are people nearby. Sessatalk is, yeah, that one. Go over there. Pick up that. Damn it, patrol. Guy, could you fuck off? Close enough. Duty-free gas. I'll pick up some. Nah, we'll pick up the supplies from Casler where they're a little bit cheaper. Nothing else here I need. Crew, we are more than fine on crew. Kind of like the look of these big cannons, but we don't need them right now. Where's the scarred spacer? I forget what this is. Biggest SAM drone ever seen. We were scared. Oh, actually, hold on. I think we need this. I think that's part of our quest. Yeah. Crap. I did not realize that was going to have a timer on it. Okay, I guess we're doing this sooner than later. Hopefully we don't have to use it right away. I think we do. Well, I already know the system we're going to put it in then. If we're getting pressured this quickly into planets, into making a planet. Is it this one? No, it was up here. This is cute. It's a cute one. I don't think that was the one though. Oh, it was this one. It was the one with the magnetron, yeah. Get this magnet boy. Oh. I mean, it looks so beautiful. I kind of want it. The problem is there's no, like, we would need to spread out among all of these different systems. There's no one system over here that's fantastic. Oddly enough, it may actually be this system that I want to go for. I didn't want to get pressured into this so soon, but I accidentally took that quest, and now here we are. This one has the pre-collapse military base. Maybe this is the system we take. Doesn't have any habitable stuff, but we're gonna, we can work with this. Can't work with that though. We can work with this one and make it better. Blackjack and hookers. It's mostly because I want this one. Oh, we can. Oh, I can't remember. We can make stations as well. Stations have no atmosphere, so it's more about like, do I want? I think I want this for the extra ship quality. We'll get pollution for putting our orbital works here, but I don't think I care. We also get extensive ruins, which is nice. Hopefully there's good metal here. Then we can terraform. I don't think we're going to terraform anything. Maybe this. Just to make it more habitable. That might be the system. Because I like this, this planet's really cool. In fact, I think all I would do is I would just get rid of the extreme weather. And then we do our orbital works. We can do light industry as well, since we're habitable. Oh, I thought it was going to explode. Sorry. And wait, hold on. There's a requirement for this. It's not that one. Dang it. I hate how the map button isn't M. It's tab, but it just closes it. It was closing it. Oh, I think it was double clicking it. For some reason, I got this double click map thing happening. It was this one. Okay, we have an asteroid field. I think it needs an asteroid field and not a belt, though. Let me look this up. I didn't expect to be doing this so soon. We're actually, damn it, it's like the opposite of what I wanted. That's what happens, isn't it? When you play this game, it's like I wanted to build this self-sufficient flotilla, but we're getting pushed into the colonization now because of DIY planets. Okay. Asteroid field. Okay. We get the, it's a ship. We don't have to use it. And I think it still works with asteroid belts as well. Okay. I think that's going to be our system. I just wanted to double check something on the DIY. It's a ship before we have to use it. So we don't have to use it right away, which means we can store it. I do like this system. It's got good sensor array already built in. It's got 2 more stable points. I think we can use the asteroid belt. Pretty sure we can, in fact. That'll get us a really good setup. Is this, like you said, this thing with the solar reflector and the get rid of the extreme weather? This will be built up really quickly. And this one's great already. The wild cards here are these two. As long as we have good ore on one or the other, I think that's the system we take. The other option would be something like this one. Well, because of this is like fantastic organics. And it's got the aquaculture. And it's low gravity on top of that. Like, this is a really good little blue ball. I mean, this will have no atmosphere. Hopefully this will have good metal. We don't know what the gas situation is here. The no atmosphere thing isn't super important though, because we can build a station. We also have this here. The mining's pretty nice on this one. Like if I was going to have one that had not a mate, like that had rare ore, that's a good rare ore to have. That's a maybe system. We could do it at this one. I wouldn't want to be like, I hate that I'm on the other side of the pirates, the Lego pirates though. Another option is this guy for the magnetron. I mean, like, come on, that's fantastic. And it's got extensive ruins as well. Got this Crimson World. All right, where was that one interesting artificial world we found? Oh, these are cool. I like Gith. I think Gith looks really cool. Plus we could get rid of the toxic atmosphere. I think we can even get rid of the tectonic activity. No, you can't terraform volcanic worlds. Never mind. So yeah, this, or irradiated worlds, so this is a dud. Ah, there it is. Constant companion. No atmosphere. Low gravity. Extensive ruins. Huge defense bonus. Actually, the plus 100% is nice, but it's not a good base. And there's nothing but hot rocks here as well. So that we could terraform the barren world. And I'm going to guess there's probably something more we could do there too. It's a bit further away as well. Whereas the other ones are like right here or over here. You know, I'm as much as I like this one, I'm thinking against it because it's further out. I think we would be better off with Blost here because it's much closer to the core. We've got colonies right here and here. And this one is amazing. Because, especially because of the plus to the defense rating. And then on top of that, we've got a nice little desert world we could put light industry on. Actually, I'd want to put the light industry on here. No, we're doing the mining here. I'll have to figure it out. I may end up not doing the mining here and instead terraforming this one so that I can do mining. Because what I could do is focus on the farmland and if I do farmland and light industry, I might actually be able to get away with domain archaeology because it's a modded industry and still keep a Ludic majority, which would be hilarious. And then the Crimson World. The only downside here is we don't have a no atmosphere planet, but we could make a station. And the Crimson World, we just keep it because it's pretty. We don't colonize it. We put a station around it though. Terraform that. Use this the way it is. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what we do. What does this system look like? Blost? What does Blost look like? Oh. I mean, we could take that. We could make that happen. Maybe we become friendly. You know what? We could become friendly with them. Oh, I meant to go back to the map. There's no asteroid. There's no... Well, actually, hold on. I think this counts. I think as long as we can touch an asteroid, it counts. It might just be a little bit sus with the orbit. All right, let's get the ship. Let's go do the quest, and we'll figure out more from there. Because we also need to still get a domain or mothership. So let's go get gas from supplies. Get moving. I think I just want to sell these. I'll sell them at Gazdalur in case I want to get them back. Let's hit Alethea. Those are basically the only two markets I interact with right now. Oh, hold on. Let me turn on my transponder because I'm about to drop some stuff on them. So yeah, let's go ahead and I already sold one of these to them. They're not that expensive to buy back. Yeah. Boop. That'll supply us for a while longer. Let's pick up 1,500 supplies. And what's it, 1,000? 1,500. I can get that much. There we go. Oh, plasma driver. I love plasma drivers. Ooh, I forgot about these. Yes, please. I hope I can get more. 6. I gotta drop 4 points. That's not happening on this build. This build is so tight right now. I'll wait engine to just redo the build once I get them. Do we have someone else I can put them on though? Yeah, we can put one on you. Not if you don't have space. All right, let's we'll just hold on to it. We'll hold on to it. We'll figure it out. Ooh, figured it out. Here, take the plasma driver I just bought and put that on. There we go. You're my hero. Hold on to this for me. Commander, what you got? Ew, I hate it. Go away. This place is so bright. I don't think I have anyone I want to put the hull beams on right now. They're not good range, right? No, hull beams. 700 range. I like the glaive. Glaive is really fun. It's 533 EMP. Oh, this is just so much EMP damage. This one is more towards the EMP or the energy side. This one's more towards the EMP side. It's also kinetic. Or I can just go triple beam. Pew, pew, pew. I like the High-On Lance, but I think the AI does not use it like as to the extent that they could. I think I would be better off putting a triple beam cannon on this. Even though I want to put the glaive as well. It's another one where it's like, with those weapons that recharge slowly, the AI is just so bad at using them. We're better off with this. Also, I'm pretty sure I have advanced optics now. I do not. I still don't have advanced optics. Oh. All right. All right, time to fly. We need to go do this mission. I don't need to bring as many supplies as actually, I know I'm getting in at least 2 fights, so we probably should just bring all the supplies we have. Holy turds. Hello. That's a big one. Ooh, hold on. Where's our mission again? Important. Terraforming. Alright, we need to actually use the gate, because we have a gate near there. Ooh, wrong spot. This one. Invasion of Ansira failed. Oberon. Oh my lordy, I completely forgot that Oberon was a neutron star and we almost got blasted. Oh. We almost got hit with the infinite Kamehameha. Tombstone is captured by Sindrian fuel. Domain probe, nothing special. Alright. Should be somewhat spicy out here. Okay, sparks still flicker from the ancient terraforming rig's engines. A futile attempt to burn long-depleted fuel reserves. Scans indicate multiple system failures caused by prolonged lack of maintenance. A handful of frozen corpses drift nearby, clinging to shattered life pods, hoping for a rescue that never came in the aftermath of the collapse. Sensor returns indicate usually short-lived charged particles near the derelict. Density distribution in the internal structure has also changed from patterns extrapolated from your previous encounters with domain era exploration vessels, as if internal messes have been removed or intentionally redistributed. As your fleet moves closer, big boy. Yeah, no big deal. 1v1 me, bro. Maybe I was a little hasty with that 1v1. Come on, team 1, let's go. Spice this guy up. Spice him up? What does that even mean? Just say words sometimes, I don't think about them. I need to get this guy over here with our friends. Come on, guys. Get up here. We're outrunning our wasps. They're having trouble keeping up. Oh boy, he just let them fly. He did not. You only have so many of those, you know that, right? This guy's a lunatic. He's just like, we'll just fire them. Alright. We'll still take the brunt of the abuse while our team gets in position. Fine by me. There we go. What? Oh. Nerd. None of this. Atmospheric demineralizers or whatever. Wait. Oh, that was just a random rig. That wasn't the rig. So that was just a thing where we could get one of these. Man, here I was getting all excited. Alright, so false alarm. We are not being pressured. We're not being peer pressured into terraforming yet. Let's go grab these ruins I forgot. Oh, I think this is like a spicy system though. I think that was a spicy system. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I just missed it. Huh. Alright. I just flew by. Already know that. Yes, yes. All right, fine. We'll go in. So that's team 1. But we don't really need these. Don't even really need much else. Like, we definitely don't need you either. Just bring in the officers that need XP. Don't even need me, but I need XP too, so. gonna say, come on. Uber. Thing is busted. We're gonna need it. Some of the stuff we're gonna go up against once we get back to the core worlds is insane. Literal demons. That was not actually the full salvage. Get this too. Oh, you're toasted. And a Edith class, a wax. What? Oh, it's an Exodus ship. I mean, I don't know. Buffs the range of nearby allies, prevents the use of shields. It's interesting. Found floating lifeless supply. Support frigate carrying unknown only token weaponry. The Edith instead carries an immense array of ultra high gain sensors and vector calculate. Okay. This is probably in a line of battle. It can extend the range of an entire squadron of warships well past tactical limits. A disadvantage that can turn the tide of any disadvantage. But it prevents the use of shields, so it shuts down our shields but turns on extra range. I think that's just too dangerous. Like unless I'm flying it, because if the AI is flying it, like, oh, just flip that switch. Oh, it only shuts its own shields down. All right, I'm in. We're in. Take the spicy boy. Gotta go fast. Who needs weapons? Alright, being a little more serious though. I do want it to increase its speed. I kind of think the safety overrides, as silly as it was at first, I think that's actually the way I want to go with it. We can build in the over engineering to get like 20% more OP, would just give me another 5. By the way, thank you for that, Patrick. Because I would not have picked it up if I hadn't known. If you hadn't said anything. I want it to go faster. We can't upgrade it with exotics until we get home. I need to put some kind of gun on it so that it will do, so it will like count as a ship. But the thing is that I feel like the best way to help it would be safety overrides. Because then it would make it move a lot faster. Well, let's leave it like this for now. I don't even know when we would bring it in. Put it back here. Polish it up over time. Invasion of Raisvelg failed. Just a vigilance. Methane world. That's cute. It's gassy boy. Oh, right. Alkali worlds are just... Yeah. That's a fun one. It's far out, too. Yeah, it's pretty. And it's really far out from the core. And the methane world, I don't know how that works, but there's also an asteroid field here. We could utilize that. Got 2 stable points already. It's really far from the core. I don't want to be too isolated, though, is the thing. I kind of want to build around Lithia. Nice. There's our goal, the main mothership location. Just a probe. Invasion of Raysville by Legos. Held by DIABLE right now. Invasion of Port St. Francis by DIABLE, held by Tritakion. A lot of stuff going on over there. Okay, mothership. All right. I'm gonna work my way over to it, or I'm gonna go straight there. I mean, not work my way over to it, because if we keep exploring, all the probes we find might point to that, and I'd rather they don't. If there's a chance they could point somewhere else more interesting. Plus, if we get this, we can offset our fuel and supply cost. Let's go in down here. That's got to be it, right? Let's see it from all the way over here. All right. Both of those invasions failed, by the way. We should be fine here. Like, my ship is cracked out and should be able to solo the mothership. And that's not a lot of blocky boys. We should be fine. Definitely don't need to bring those. Just bring in the jackhammers for backups. The gremlins, I mean. Yeah. This is overkill. I like that it put me up front. Get in there quickly. Start pounding on this thing. Yeah, look at that guy. He's already blasting this thing. Million salamanders out there. Whose is that? That's one of mine. What happened? Who did that? Who is that? Somebody already blew up. Looks like it's a vigilance. No, I have 5 vigilance. I think I know who that was. That was my blue officer, wasn't it? No, no, he's over here. Who was that? It was a vigilance, but I only have 5 or 4. I don't know what happened there. I have 5. They're already all out here. I don't know. I don't know. Someone got toasted. Oh, we got bonked. Ooh, hello. Oh, I went right into that Reaper. Whoa, our engine was still toasted. Complete miss. What were you doing up in front like that? Jesus. Alright, well, he's toasted. That's the problem, is that destroyer wants to stand off, but it does not have... Oh! Excuse me. It is not set for that. Don't worry, guys, I'm coming up. I will protected you. Hi. Thought for sure that other guy was done for. Just gotta tickle him in the end. And everyone? It looks like everyone. Okay. Big stretch. I wish I'd caught that ad break though, because I actually need to run out in a second, get across the street and pick up Grandpa. That happens in a few minutes, so I'm gonna wait for the Twitch ad to end. Only had 2 losses. Oh, it was a brawler. Guys, it was a brawler. You got a heck of a burnt piece of toast. I could barely identify it. Yeah, so it was a brawler. And our freaking Rivetta. Silly goose. Alright, coming back. Pick up all this trash. Oh yeah, look at all that beautiful trash. Give it to me. Okay, as you finish mopping up, your fleet finishes its approach without incidents. Investigate compartments. Yes, investigate compartments. We need more machines. We need more machines. Uh-oh. More machines. Need more machines. Officer training. Guys, I need machines. Who's got machines? Do you have machines? There's a thing over here. Give me machines. Plentiful volatiles are not machines. Also not machines. Which of these are real? None of them. Only 2 machines? And what is this? Weather manipulation core. Allows permanent removal of extreme weather. Cute. Not machines. What's that? Is that a probe? What's that? Is that a probe? Probe? Automated defense. They have machines. Give me your machines. Oh, I actually could get salamandered here and that would be really bad. Trying to booty blast me. I will not let it happen. Where are you? That's not him. He's the one. Oh, he's crafty, this little guy. He just keeps escaping around behind the... Alright. Just work our way over to him. Got you now. There we go. Okay. Now I have way less to worry about. Very efficient. Hardly any supplies wasted. Ooh, got generate slip surge. Fantastic ability. Love that ability. I don't know where we're gonna put it over though. Ooh. Hello.
Hey, Pops.
Okay. Just people confirming that I'm picking up Grandpa. All right. Slip surge. That's what I was trying to figure out. Where I was going to put the slip surge. I mean, I don't ever need to turn my transponder on when I'm in hyperspace, so that'll work. So I can just use that to turn it off. All right. Because we are actually gonna need to go find stuff. 5 more minutes before we gotta head out. We need to find more machines. Could also find a gate, please. That'd be nice. Okay, we did not get that magnetic field right there. All we need is like 1 mining station or like 1 good stack of ruins. Or 1 of them. Where are you? 22 machines. I think it was like 480 or something. I don't think we have enough. Oh, there's another world. Oh. Nope. Oh. Eight, please. Mother survey ship. Not interested. Nope, not interested. Oh, damn. Go team. Full assault. All the beams. I don't know what hit us. I think it was the explosion. That one definitely was the explosion. Oh, hello, you. Oh, he done. He got blasted. Oh, I didn't even notice Ataraxia was in chat. I'm just got my head down. You're still here. How you doing? Oh, what do we got? Preliminary survey data. Oh, weak. There we go. All right, so we are all the stuff we need. We actually need more metal than organics. Get rid of that organics. I would see you live when I watch one of your uploads. Well, I mean, it's not like this is going anywhere, except for the one exception of the 24-hour stream. Everything I have done will eventually become a VOD. And yeah, I do tend to stream in the evenings. It's pretty consistent now that it's going to be Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday for a regular stream, and then Wednesday, Saturday for sometimes streams. All right, cool. Enough parts. And we have, after a rather lengthy wait, head of recovery operations reports back to the bridge. The operation can be considered a success. Salvage crews were able to decouple autoforge installations and are now in the process of packaging the hardware. Nevertheless, close examination of forged machinery reveals that these modules are decidedly unsuitable for use without external facilities such as those native to the mothership's hull, at least in their current form. Your chief engineer notes that the modules, arcane as they may be, can theoretically be disassembled and reassembled in a form more accommodating to whatever ship happened to be available, given, of course, inevitable size constraints and the fact that performance of makeshift versions is likely to be abysmally low. Suffice to say, we now have forge production. These know-how, ability technical know-how needed to operate pre-collapsed space manufactured tech. These know-how, however, do not go as far as producing brand new autoforge units yourself. The only practical option right now is to reassemble makeshift production modules using stock of crucial domain-made components salvaged from the derelict mothership. In other words, we can now use forge production. Gain the mod spec makeshift forge production. And we can salvage and get a catalytic converter. Fantastic. That's the last one we needed too. These three are used with forge production to increase your production. Okay, so let's yeet some metal out. And we celebrate with another salvage. We yeet more metal out into space. And we will pause here because I need to run. I'll be right back. Let me set up the BRB real quick. There it is. Boom. And we'll be back. We're going to aim for 10 after. I'm going to put 15 after. We're going to call this a longer break, but I will most likely be back before then. And I'm going to throw the ad on Twitch as well so that we get more time without the pre-roll. So I will be back shortly. Game up.